What's up, fuckers? Today I'm here with Iconic Becker. We're going to do a little bit of an interview, talk about college, I guess, and also some social media marketing.
Social media marketing, yeah.
First, real quick, I wanted to get quick little background. Well, I'm going to say this real quick. He just did an interview with Ryan Hildreth and Hayden Peddle because he just got a trip out to Bimini, which is part of the Bahamas, and one of his clients paid to take him out there before he even got them as a client. So actually, I'm going to ask you right now, did you get him as a client or what happened with that?
So I actually just finished the vlog. You can still see the camera right there. About how that went down. In the end, how it was we kind of mutually agreed. Like I did ended up landing him as a client. We discussed the summer package where I'm going to be taking care of him for the rest of summer to see how that works. Where I could have gone ahead and pitched him the original $2.5 grand deal that I wanted to go with. Like that was my goal. But sometimes you guys got to kind of like sit there and take away from it. You got to say like, all right, this guy did all this for me. Like, he took me out on all these different things. The trip total was way more than my package cost. So I said, look, man, it's a $2.5 grand package, but for the first month, I'm going to drop it down just to 500. We're just going to leave it at that and everything. And that 500 is going to be reserved for just the advertising costs and everything. And so we left it at that. So I pretty much gave him the first month free as exchange for, taking me out. But I did end up landing the client, and we worked out a great mutually beneficial deal. So I'm very excited.
Awesome. And so do you have like, so right now you're working with a month-to-month. What do you have going on with the contract? Social media posting, advertising, what you got?
Yeah. So everybody's different, and I figured posting every single day, like a lot of people like to do that. I really don't like doing that because it really is a pain for me. Like I just don't. It just annoys me at that point. So what we did is I created a newsletter, and we're going to be primarily relating on an SEO and Facebook ads campaign. So that's going to be like the core of it. We're not really trying to drive traffic to his social media, but more just straight to the website, get people in the door, get the packages, and go from there.
Yeah, I like that approach, and it really varies from business to business, like what works for them. Because certain businesses, they rely a lot more on SEO type stuff. Like if somebody's looking to go on a vacation, they're probably going to be searching for it rather than just like waiting for someone to come to them.
Exactly. And yeah, I'm going to be honest, this is actually a little intimidating me now because I have never done a single line of SEO like to this day. Like I completely skipped the SEO portion of Ty Lopez's course. I skipped the SEO courses on everyone's channel. Like SEO just seems like a pain. So I'm just outsourcing that to another guy, but
yeah. No, you'll be good outsourcing it. It's changed a lot though too, I've noticed. And,
I have heard that it's a little SEO takes like kind of months to set up. You can't really get it in the first month right.
Yeah, and I know there's a guy on Fiverr that somebody hooked me up with, and some guy that runs an SEO company basically hooked me up with his software. He hooked me up with his software and then told me kind of like the Fiverr guy that they use a lot to get a quick result. So I may send you that link over if you want it.
Dude, that's great. Yeah.
Awesome.
Slide that.
What's kind of like your shortened life story, or at least like the last couple of years? How has it been for you? What process did you go through? Sure.
So I was in high school and I really wanted to go to UCF. That's like the big college in Florida besides FSU. And I ended up, guys, I got rejected from every single college I applied to, like every single one, which was shocking because it's not like I had bad grades. To this day, I still don't know what happened. But I was so distraught. I ended up going to a local community college, and I was there for a little bit. And because there was no partying and no fraternities, nothing like that in the area to do, you ended up spending a lot more time by yourself. And eventually I just kind of sat there and I was like, you know what? Why am I waiting for school to teach me how to make a career when I could just do that for myself? And so I started buying a bunch of entrepreneur books. I started going online, following all kinds of people, Ryan, Hayden, Gary Vaynerchuk. Grant Cardone lives near me, so that's pretty cool. And eventually it just came where I just kept trying and failing different little entrepreneur businesses. And I probably went through, I'd say, like 3 or 4, failed companies before I finally got to my social media marketing company, which I started 3 months ago, and it has taken off ever since. As you just talked about, I was just literally paid for to go to Bimini. So everything has been phenomenal. It's been a hard process getting here, but there's never been a more rewarding one. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've been through a pretty dang similar process. I tried like a couple other things in the past and failed, and then got into this and started to see, well, I kind of moved from thing to thing. Reason being was I was looking for kind of the fastest way that I could quit my 9 to 5, because then I could spend my full time on whatever entrepreneurship thing that I wanted to do. So I was like, what's the quickest way that can get me there? And once I came across social media marketing, is like, well, I can just get 2 clients and then I can just be able to quit my job. And it was as simple as that. So I went out a couple weeks, got 2 clients, and then quit my job. So it was pretty awesome.
That easy. And you dropped out of college, did you not?
Yes, I did.
You went to an architecture school, if I remember. I read an article about you, and it was like you went to an architectural school and you dropped out, 4.0 GPA. Why don't you tell me what happened there?
Yeah, well, I had the same realization you did, and it was just like, why do I have to wait for college to teach me everything? I'm just learning all this stuff online, so much more that I'm learning in school, basically stuff that was useless. And
but you were going to architectural school. That's not like a school that you just, usually people that go to architectural school, you did go there, right? Just making sure it was an architect school?
Yeah, well, it's actually architectural engineering, so it's like pretty similar, but it is more on the engineering side instead of architecture.
Yeah.
But it's like the same level of difficulty, really.
But most people, when they go to schools like that, they go because they already knew that that's what they wanted to do, and they're like in the paint, ready to get in there. And you went in, and what happened? Did you want to be an architect and you changed out, or what changed?
Yeah, I had it planned out pretty dang good. A lot more than most students did. I had even done like an internship with an engineering company before then, so I had a little bit of idea what they actually did in the field, like actually working. So that was another thing that I had, like while I was going through college, I was like, they're not even doing this stuff that I saw that they were doing in this internship, so why are they teaching it in college? And so it kind of didn't really make much sense to me. It also seemed like a huge waste of time. That's what I was more concerned about than the money. And then, well, my end goal was become an entrepreneur. That was always what it was. So my original plan was do that because I knew it was like decently paying, and that's what everybody taught was right for me to do. And my parents, they didn't know anything different, so I just thought I could do that, and then I would just save up some money for a couple years and then start my own engineering firm. But then I was just going through college and learning all this stuff from all these people online. I was like, why can't I just become an entrepreneur right now? Because that was my real end goal. It wasn't necessarily like being an engineer. It was more just being an entrepreneur. So either way, my end goal was that. So I figured I could get there a lot faster doing it this way. And I mean, by that time I'd be 35, and right now I'm not. Like I don't have a job. It's just this, and I'm probably going to be making a lot more than I would even when I was 35. So it's kind of crazy that it's like more than 10 years earlier than expected. But I think I definitely made the right choice. I think you did too.
100%, 100%. And what's cool about your story though is you were on like the news for it, and like that's kind of why I kind of flipped this interview around here.
Yeah,
but I'm taking the reins now. But like I'm just kind of like shocked. Like how did you get like all the news and everything to talk about one Instagram photo?
Yeah.
I mean, how did you pull that off?
Yeah, it was Instagram and Facebook. Mostly Facebook is what most people saw. And that was shared a lot. Like on Facebook, it was shared a lot on my original post, but then also like other outlets started to post like articles about it and stuff, and like post it on their own Facebook pages, and those got like a lot on their own. I remember one of the funniest moments my favorite moments personally when I saw like World Star Hip Hop on Twitter like posted something about it. It's like, wow, made it to World Star.
Oh, World Star posted about it?
Yeah.
World Star.
I know, right? That was probably the most exciting moment. But
that's you've like lived your life if you've gotten on World Star. Like that's like a thing.
Yeah.
You know, once you get on World Star, you're basically set for life.
Yeah, and then I like checked the website on World Star. I should have taken a screenshot. I have a screenshot of the tweet, but not on the website. But there's like a little box on World Star or something. It was it was cool, but the news people, they just all that happened really was they just messaged me on Facebook or whatever, and like some of them like really started to chase me down because there was like so many Facebook messages. It was hard to sort through them all. So one of them was like ended up emailing my fiance, and that's how I got on that. There was like 2 or 3 news interviews, I think 3 total, and I was pretty bad at talking on camera. I've gotten a little better. Yeah. Still working on it, but
everyone's working on it, man.
Better every day. That's what's up. So with that, like how are you getting your clients right now? Because I know that on Ryan's channel or Hayden's channel, one of them, you're talking about your process. It seemed a little different. You said you were getting to basically pay for the audit. So what was kind of your funnel that you were leading them into and to get the clients?
Yeah, so pretty much I've gotten a lot of messages since that interview, and they've all asked how do you pull that off? How do you source your clients? And people, one guy this morning was like, I'm gonna call 1,000 or 100 businesses a day and do 2,500 a month. And pretty much, I think what the number one problem people have with social media marketing is you forget that if you really want your company to succeed, you have to create a relationship with the client. You know, you have to really be your buddy. All of my clients were people I knew beforehand, except for the travel agency. But almost everyone, like, I had some sort of in with. So my first client was a barber. And I sat there and I was just sitting. I was talking to my current barber, the guy who was doing my hair at the time. And I was talking to him about my new agency. I was like, yeah, this is what I'm going to do. And the guy next to me overheard and was like, hey, man, you come in here all the time. I'd like to hear about your services and everything. And I was like, all right, man, let me tell you about what I can do for you. $250, like flat out. And that's my consultation. And we did the consultation, everything, and went great. And after that, that's when I went ahead and started going out to people that I was in the area with. You know, I train with a lot of personal trainers. I hang out with a lot of DJs. And I would go to them and be like, hey, guys, I know you guys are trying to get bigger on social media. I have the solution for you. Just real simple. There's really nothing behind it. I'd be like, I have a solution for you. I can sit down and give you a nice plan to show you what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong, and a strategy for what you could do over the next couple of months to grow your pages. And I will do this for only $250. That's very key, saying the for only part. Really minimize the money. And I think I pitched probably like 20 people, and out of that I got like 10 sales. So that was a pretty good retention rate. And so it's really, that's kind of been my main method for how I've gone out and done clients, is I already appeal to people that most likely need social media. Like, you know, a DJ wants to get his name out more. Everyone needs social media, but not every business like knows they need social media, right? Like a restaurant, because everyone just wants to do restaurants. A restaurant might be doing well enough where they won't see the need in social media. But if you get a barber or like a DJ, those are people that only survive if they have a large following, like period. There is no middle ground. So if you go up and say, I can give you the one thing that your business relies on better, they're willing to pay any price for that. And I think that's one of the biggest things that people miss.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. And I've noticed that is by far the biggest problem people have been seeing in the course is they're doing a good job. They're actually going out and reaching a lot of clients. But like myself personally, I have literally only talked to like probably like 15 to 20, and I have 3 clients right now. I mean, it's the same kind of thing. It's just working a little smarter rather than harder, because if you're trying to sell like a high cost product, you're not going to be able to do that with someone that doesn't even know you calling them up on the phone and then basically, will you buy this $1,000 product or will you meet with me? They have no idea what you are. They get sales calls all the time. The problem is they need your trust, and you need to take your time to really build that trust. And the audits can help with that if you decide to do it that way. The way that I got my first couple clients is like I went to every single business that I personally used. So like I did the same thing. I talked to my barber. I talked to my previous work. I've talked to, I went into my dentist that I went to when I was a kid. I still have to follow up with them. Just like every single place that I personally used, those are all the places that I focused on because they had seen me in there before. So I have trust with them. They believe, like when I say that I use this business, I see the potential in it because I go here all the time. It's genuine because I actually do. Yeah. And I think starting out, that's probably the best option to do is just go to people that you know, businesses that you know and use, because then they're going to trust you a lot more.
Exactly. And even if it's not the business that you use, like you could be a loser that like hangs out with nobody and everything. But if you are that guy, there's still a huge amount of potential for you. I just don't believe in cold leads. Like that's just me. I think everyone has a network if they believe and they open their mind that there's a network that they have that has more than enough clients to suffice them. Right now I'm working on my 4th client, and if I land this one, like I'm happy. I don't want to expand my agency past 4, right? Because that's it. That's like the end game. I know exactly what I want. I'm going to get it. But everyone wants to go out and say, I need 6 or 7 clients. I need salesmen that are getting me more clients. And they only focus about the expansion and not the quality of their company.
Yeah.
And that's a huge part. And so if you're a guy that doesn't go out that much, here's a strategy that my buddy's agency used. I coached his agency, and this actually landed him his first client. Was he wanted to go to this local sushi shop. And it's a small sushi shop, and we didn't know the owner. We didn't know anyone there. But we would go in there every other day pretty much, and we would eat this sushi, and we got to the point where everyone knew our faces, they knew our names, we knew everyone's names, we were personable, we were kind, we left nice tips. And eventually the manager came out and was like, you guys come here all the time, have a bowl on us, and I think thanks for being so good. And then we were like, oh, hey, manager guy, what a coincidence, we would love to talk to you. And pretty much we sat him down there and we closed the client within the next hour. Like it was just not hard because people are really skeptical nowadays, and you have to build up that trust.
Truth. And yeah, I totally agree. It's just taking the time. It's just taking the time with less clients rather than just like, it's not about pure volume. It's about taking the time to spend quality time with a couple people, because if you just talk to 1,000 people, they can all say no because none of them trust you. But if you talk to 10 and you like take the time to build up that trust, like slowly, and like meet with them every couple days or like keep in contact with them all the time, then they start building that trust up, and you may get like 3 clients out of that, similar to how I did. And it's really just about building that trust rather than just like pure volume.
Yeah, and that's it. That's just mainly that's where I see everyone on the forums just going all the way wrong. Is they just focus so much on being a salesman, selling it, that they don't realize that you need to be a friend to the business first.
Yeah. All right. So with those, getting meetings set up for $250, how do you usually go about getting those meetings, and what's involved with them?
So again, with how I usually go about those meetings is I just go to people I know and I say, hey, listen, I can give you a strategy, a blueprint guide to follow to get to increase your following. Now, I use the word increase your following very like specifically because I can increase the following. Like that's not the hard part. Getting the number of followers up on any channel is not a big deal. It's getting the return on investment that's the hard part. But most people don't realize that, and they just want the followers. So I'm giving them what they want. So I say I'll do that, and I'll do it for $250. And they usually will say yes. We'll sit down in the meeting, and the meetings last about 2.5 hours. And sorry, not 2.5, about an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours. And how they typically run is I sit there and I say, hey, here's your social media. this is what you're doing wrong. Bang, bang, bang. And like, this is stuff I've learned from Instagram influencers, Facebook ad specialists, just basic info that I've learned on the forums that a lot of people don't typically know about how to just kind of structure your pages, how to make them look good. For example, a lot of people don't understand that you should not be following more people than follow you. Like, that's like a super death sin on social media.
A lot of businesses do that.
Yeah, that's like a big thing. So I'll just give out simple info like that people don't typically know. But when you give it to them, they're like, wow, this is really game changing. I'm like, yeah, bro, it's super game changing. And so I'll be like, all right, so what I want you guys to do is at the end, I'll say, here's the strategy. And usually it'll be for one or two platforms. Like, I'll tell them what they're doing wrong with their Instagram and Facebook, or their Twitter and Facebook, or something. And I'll say, here's my new strategy for what I think you should do. Post on this many times a week, do this. Pretty much I lay out exactly what I would do if I was owning their account. And I would make it look super complicated. And then I'd go ahead and I'd call them up in 2 weeks, and I'd watch over their accounts like a hawk for the next 2 weeks. Like, I see what their posting behaviors are, if they're doing what I told them. I keep a copy of the audit with me, and I'll look over it and be like, oh, they did this. Oh, they're not doing this. And I'll text them and be like, why aren't you doing this? Or, hey, what's going on here? And in 2 weeks ends, I'll call them up and I'll be like, hey, so how's it been working for you? Most of the time they'll say it's working, but it's only working when I'm actually doing it. And it's really hard to kind of keep up with all this stuff. And I'll usually sit there, phone in hand. I'll be like, I feel you, man. Social media is truly a tumultuous task. Tell you what, I will take that burden off your hand, $1,000. And then boom, close. Like, that's it. You have to let them see how much of a pain in the ass this is, and then let it be my pain in the ass. Obviously, I have like a much more, in-depth sales strategy. But the first, I feel like the best sales strategy is the one where you let the customer identify that they have a problem, and that problem is that their social media sucks. Then you give them the solution on how to fix that. And the solution is you will fix it. And then by that, now they're going ahead and they're a lot more likely to sign with you. That's pretty much how I run through it, and then that pretty much upsells to the next couple packages.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. I really like that strategy, and I think a lot of people are rushing into it too much. Like you just said, that you wait like 2 weeks after you had that first thing just to see how it's going. And a lot of times, the business owners or whoever's doing it need time to like figure out that problem that they're having, and so I think your patience with it too. Is good because they're probably thinking about like the things you said those whole 2 weeks, and then you're stuck in their mind of all these things. They're like, oh, he said I need to do this, and then they're not doing it. So it just builds up over time, and then once you hit them with that call again, they want it. And so I was wondering, what would you do? What would you do to get a meeting like that if it was a client that you didn't really know?
Okay, if I didn't really know them, usually I wouldn't do this because I like I said, I don't really like cold leads, but their cold leads do exist, and I have had them before. 2 days ago, I had it where I saw a watch company that sells like really nice watches, and I thought, all right, let me go ahead. These guys are selling Rolexes and Audemars Piguets, Pateks. Let me go ahead and see. They probably have money to blow. Let me see if I can do something for them. And I walked in, I was like, hey guys, what's up? I'm interested in buying a watch. And I had like the money like in hand, like just to like actually create conversation, because I believe that if you go right in, the first thing you do is you walk up to the desk of the manager, whoever it is, and you have like your little marketing audit in hand. Like the managers are trained by now to know that. They've seen, other people like me walking in. So they already know like, all right, whatever this guy's going to say, I'm going to kick him out. You got to sneak attack these guys. You got to slither in there. So I came in, I pulled out like a lot of, money, borrowed some money from some friends, came in, looked like I was ready to buy like a used Rolex. And I was talking to him, and as we started building conversation, he was like, hey, you're 19. How can you afford a Rolex? And I clearly could not afford a Rolex. I just sort of clear here. But I was like, well, that's a great question. And I was like, actually, I own a social media marketing agency. And he was like, oh, what does that do? And I was like, well, basically, I give business, small businesses more traction to their, online websites. I increase their online presence. And word for word, he was like, wow, that's crazy. We were just looking for that. And I was like, whoa, no way. Who would have guessed? And he's like, do you have time to talk or maybe go over my media? And I was like, actually, I'm really glad you asked that. Boom. Here's the audit. This contains the secrets to getting your online company up. I will hand it to you right now. It's literally, the book is in my hand. It's slither, but you have it right in front of their face. They want it. And now that I've built up a rapport with him, he really wanted it. And I was like, I can give this to you for $250. And I walked out of there about 10 minutes later with $250. And I gave him the book. We're supposed to have the consultation meeting. I believe what is today, Saturday? Yeah. We're supposed to do it on Monday, and then after that, I'm planning to pitch them the upsell to potentially like a $1,500 package.
Yeah, that's sweet.
So I really think it's about being sneaky. You got to be sneaky. Is my way of doing it. Is you got to come in there and not make them think that you're a marketer, but either you're a potential client or a friend of the business, because that's the best way for them to trust you.
I would totally agree. That you really just got to get creative with it, and that was definitely a really creative way. I gotta say, that was smart. And dang, I'm just really impressed. How'd you get the name? So how'd you come up with the name Iconic Becker? Where'd that come from?
That's a great story. Mainly, like to give it in summation, I went ahead and, like, growing up, I never liked doing like normal things. Like I hated going out, and I hated sitting inside all day and just doing like nothing. So I would tell my friends, like, yo, let's go like wakeboard like the garbage hills down here, or let's go. I ran an Xbox for Homecoming Prince and it won. Like I've done a lot of, like, I'd like to think, interesting things in my life. And eventually I had the idea that people would come up to me and they'd start saying, hey, you're living this cool lifestyle and everything, and you don't have any money, or you're not doing anything special. So how are you living so iconic? And that kind of ringed with me, and I liked the idea of it, and I wanted it to be everyone should live like me. Wow, that sounds really douchebag.
No, you're good.
I wanted to be I wanted to be everyone should be stress-free and appreciative of what they have, and be able to make a fun day out of anything that they have with them. They don't need a $250,000 car to make them happy, as long as they have the right mindset. And I called this mindset like the iconic mindset. And it was the idea of how to turn what you have into living the best lifestyle possible. And so I changed my name to Iconic Becker, and started building up that brand. And people eventually just started calling me Icon. And then it pretty much just went from there. I think that was definitely a minute ago. So it's been like that for a while now, and I'd like to think that the name represents the possibility of how to take whoever you are, no matter what abilities you have, and to live the best life you can.
That's awesome. And
yeah, they're deep.
No, I like that a lot. I mean, it's not all about the money. Yeah, it gives you some freedom to do other things, but it's not like you can't let it hold you back from doing anything, because you can really do anything. If you really want to, you can do anything you want with like $0 if you just put in the work to make it happen.
Like I said, I was in community college, and it wasn't even a community college; it's technically a full college, but whatever. And every kid there, all I heard them do all day was complain. It was always, oh, we don't have sororities or parties around here. Like Florida is so lame, or South Florida is so lame. And I was just shook, man. That blew my mind. Because I live in South Florida. People want to go I live in Miami. People like travel all over the world to come and see where I live and everything. Like I live in one of the coolest places on earth, in my opinion. And I feel like this is like the case for a lot of people. If people, in Chicago, New York, Detroit, all those places. And people just weren't appreciative of the coolest place that we had. And that blew my mind. So I really wanted to kind of set on this quest to open people's mindsets to be appreciative of what they have, and use that to fuel their purpose and possibilities in life.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge, and that's the same thing I'm trying to do with my channel, is like open up people's minds to the really the same kind of lifestyle that you're going after and you're teaching people for. Like that you don't have to be, you don't need so many things, you don't need so many materialistic things. You just need the right mindset to make you happy. Like whatever you have, that doesn't make you happy. Like just because you have money, that doesn't make you happy.
I mean, money's cool too. Don't get me wrong.
No, exactly. It gives you the freedom to do a lot more stuff that you've always wanted to do. Like, say, for example, me personally, I've always wanted to drive a Lamborghini, but I can't do that without any money. Like I said earlier, you can if you try hard enough. You can just steal one somehow. I don't know. Figure it out.
Let me tell you, those things just go, man.
Yeah.
You put your foot on the pedal and you just tap it a little bit, and it shoots off like 800 feet. It's like a wild horse, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, I can't wait for that day. I'm excited. But
I'm sure you'll see it soon, man. You'll definitely see it soon.
Yeah, I really appreciate you and like what you're doing, because I'm on the same journey, and more people need to know about this kind of thing. It's about changing the mindset. It's about changing the way people think about college, the way people think about life, the way people think about wealth and how to create it. And I think both of us together, we're making a good progress on fixing that, along with a lot of other people too. So I'm really appreciative for that. So I guess that covers most of everything. I just wanted to ask you this last one, because I know I've had personal problems with this, and I know a lot of other people do too. But how do you manage your day typically? How do you figure out what you're going to do each day? How do you get stuff done?
Oh, that's a good one. All right, I'm going to have to get up for this one. All right, so
let's see.
So my day, I'm a very neat person, so my day actually needs some restructuring. You know, I'm nowhere near perfect with my day yet. Every day I wake up and my room is always a mess. Like, I always come home and I ruin my room after every day. And then in the morning I can't work until I clean it, so I have to clean it. So then I waste like 2 hours cleaning my room. So that's like my personal occupation I have, obviously. But I'll tell you, the number one trick here is whiteboards. All right, you need to organize yourself with a written list. You can see here, I have 5 whiteboards to keep track of everything, and every day. So let's look right here. Today's goals: I have to work on the YouTube video. I have to work on an audit. I know my handwriting is awful here. I gotta meet with this personal trainer who's one of my clients, and work on a YouTube video. Then on top of that, I have my weekly goals and my monthly goals. And by waking up and writing these at the beginning of every single day, you sit there, and when you cross them out, it's a true feeling of fulfillment. You're like, yeah, I'm getting there. Mission accomplished. Let's fucking go. And at the end of the day, if I didn't get everything done, I leave it on the list. And I say tomorrow, I write on top of that. And then if I keep doing that, then it's just going to keep adding up. So it keeps me able to keep moving forward, and it keeps me organized. So I'd like to start off my day early, you know, waking up around 8, 9, and then I tackle my list. What I'd like to say before we sign off is there is no excuse. There is no excuse to not find time. Everyone has messaged. I've gotten a lot of messages in the past couple of days, and I've seen so many things of how do you find the time, or I don't have the time right now to start. I don't have the time to take away from school and studying. I'll say right now, that is bullshit, okay? I still work my main job personally because I just like working and I like multiple streams of income. But during the day, I like detail luxury cars. And I do that from 7 in the morning till 7 at night. I work a 12-hour shift every day in the sun, and it sucks. And I come home and I'm exhausted. But being exhausted, I can't just come home and take a nap and everything. I come home from 7 to 7 is working on cars. Then from 7 to 1 in the morning, that is grind time. That is work on the company. That is structure objectives. That is get what each client needs done. That is setting up my if this, then that, portfolios. And I do that every single day because I know what I want, and I know that I have to work to get there. So there's no way possible that you don't have the time. I don't care if you come home from baseball practice at like 8 o'clock at night. I don't care if you don't have a job currently and you're spending all day trying to find one. If you even find 2 hours out of the day to just work on you, doesn't have to be a social media company, just you will find all of the difference in the world. Because there's always time to work on you, no matter what time of the day it is, no matter how busy your schedule is. It only depends on how much you're willing to put into yourself.
Yep. Exactly. Dude, you killed it. You killed it with this interview. I really appreciate it. There's so much value in this that, like, all of these things that you're saying are all things I've learned over the last 3 years. I'm sure you have yourself. And that time one is huge for a lot of people. And just like you said, when people say they don't have enough time, that's total bullshit, because you just make it. I know there's always little things that people are always wasting their time on. It'll be stupid.
Exactly.
And it's just like simple as scrolling through Instagram or something. Like if you do that like 20 times a day for 10 minutes each, like that's like 2.5 hours. And I guarantee lots of people do that. Or people watch Netflix every day. You gotta sacrifice that if you want the things.
Bro, you gotta sacrifice so much. You know how many friends I've lost in the past 3 months? So many. Because they hit me. I used to be a popular kid that would hang out with all these people, and every day they'd hit me up, be like, yo, let's hang out, let's go out drinking, let's go out party. And I'd be like, sorry guys, I have to work on my company. Having the will to say that, having the will to say I can't hang out with you guys, I need to work on me, is the hardest thing anyone can do, but it is the most important.
Yeah, and it's all about that sacrifice. If you want to live the lifestyle, if you want the Lamborghini and you want to travel the world and not have to worry about finances, you got to sacrifice stuff. And a lot of times that can be sacrificing a lot of your friends. But at the same time, I've gained a lot of friends that are into the same stuff just like you. And those people, the people just like you, are the people that inspire me to keep going forward. And like, even if people make you jealous, that's a good thing, because those people are pushing you to make more progress. And when I see other people in the group, and I'm sure you do this too with other things, like you see people getting more clients and they're starting to get ahead of you, you start getting a little jealous, and then it makes you want to do it more. And
you got to surround yourself with the best people, man.
Yeah,
the more you start to,
I really didn't believe that at first when I did it like a year or so ago, when I first heard that, because I'll be honest, I was above my friends by like a lot, and I didn't really believe it. But then once I started, when I started actually surrounding myself with people like that, from Ryan and Hayden's course and other things, it was insane the difference that it made. Actually getting myself with people that were above me, because before I was just above like all my friends and everything, but it didn't really push me at all, because no one was better than me. I was just better than all my friends. Yeah, my friends were getting better because of me, but I wasn't getting any better. Well, I was getting better, but it wasn't like as fast as it could have been, like as fast as it is now. And
definitely.
So if you don't believe that right now, that the 5 closest people to you, you're like the average of that.
You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Yeah, exactly. It just comes down, like, it's actually true. And so if you don't believe it, change it and then see what happens, and you'll be pretty surprised like what new levels it brings you to. But I really appreciate you taking the time to do this, Brandon Iconic Becker, and you guys got to check out his channel. So much value, dude.
Peep it out. If you have a problem with your client generation, guys, we'll be making a couple videos on that soon, so look forward to it. Definitely check out Billy here and whatnot. He's got some phenomenal content coming up that I'm very excited about. So I guess
that was a good timing. Awesome. It was really good talking to you today, and I hope you guys feel inspired by this. Hope you can learn something new, and well, if you have any questions, ask either one of us. We've been through a lot of stuff. Obviously, we haven't been through everything yet. We don't know everything, but at the same time, you go steps. You take steps. You learn from like the next person that's right above the step from you, and you don't just go straight to like the master, because they don't have time for you. Us guys, that we have time for you still. So just let us know what you need help with, or what you're trying to figure out. Really, anything, any kinds of questions. Can help propel you to where you need to go. So appreciate you taking the time to do this, and hope you guys have a great day. Hope you have a great day, and good luck with your meeting with the personal trainer. Have you done that already?
Yep. Well, I've already met with him, so I actually just have to cross that out today.
Awesome. All right, see you guys.
All right, man. Everybody, be easy.
Awesome.
What do you plan on releasing on your channel in the future?
In the future, mostly stuff like similar stuff to what we talked about today. I want to keep it more focused on general rather than social media marketing, because I feel like there's more value in that. Because I feel like genuinely it'll help more people. Because if I can teach people the things that I've learned over the last couple of years, they can just watch my YouTube channel for like a couple hours and learn what I learned in like the last 3 years. That would be awesome.